TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Chris talked about in his last interview that we did with him about both of your recovery. What was it that turned you guys, the corner for you during that time, and what made you and he commit to the recovery?
What made us stop everything?
Yeah.
I don't even know what it was. One day we just kind of woke up and said, you know what, this is getting old. We had our fun. We're getting old. This is getting old. Why don't we try something else for a change? Try not drinking. Try no pills, things like that. And it really wasn't hard. Just one day we just woke up and said, all right, done. And especially when in our minds we were committed to ourselves, well, especially him. I mean, I kind of was wanting my out from the business because I was getting so frustrated with the business. This is right after like the Puerto Rico time. And but him, of course, he'd never be out of the business. So he was so focused. Okay, I'm gonna go back, I'm getting my job back. I'm gonna make $1 million. That was his thing. That meant more to him than popping a few pills and drinking.
Right.
That the business meant everything in the world to him, more than anything.
Right.
More than me. So that's what really kicked our asses back in gear.
You talked a little bit about Puerto Rico. What was your memories of working that territory? There's a lot of people. I remember when you guys went down there. Everyone's like, "Oh no, they're gonna die down there."
I'll tell you, if somebody decides to pay me to take a beautiful 1 week long vacation in Puerto Rico and throw $5,000 spending money on top of it, I still won't go.
Right.
To any workers out there who might get a chance to go and work, don't do it for either company. I don't even know what companies are down there anymore. Especially don't go for Carlos. So we were supposed to go down for Victor Quinones and Savio at first. We talked to them a few times. We've known Quinones for years. We went to Japan with him. They called us and we were like, okay, this might be fun. Basically, living on an island, what the hell. And then out of the blue, Sabu calls us and says, heard you might go down there for them. And we're like, yeah, well, we're just kind of talking. Sabu goes, well, can you do me a big personal favor? We said, of course. We're family with him. He's like, well, you know how my uncle was tight with Butcher and Carlos for all those years. He said, well, that Carlos found out that you might go for Quinones. Will you go for them instead? We're like, well, for what kind of money? Basically, they said almost the same kind of money as Quinones was going to give us. Quinones was going to give us $1,000 a week combined. Carlos said $8 a week. And we figured, well, since Sabu's there and he's like closer to us than our own family is, we were like, oh, all right, we'll do Sabu. Sabu does us favors. We'll do him the favor. He asked us to do him a personal favor. I wanted to shoot Sabu because he doesn't realize he goes down for a weekend and he gets his money. We went down. We were originally given a time frame of being down there for 2 years. We were like, cool. We'll live on an island for 2 years, making $800 a week. Most of everything paid for. We're good to go. We get there. The buildings are decrepit. A lot of them are outside. No running water. You get hit in the head with 9-volt batteries as you're walking out of the locker room. People go up to the concession stands, buy a cup of soda, drink it, fill it with pee, pour it on your head as you walk in the locker room, whether you're a heel or babyface, doesn't matter. I had welts on my head from 9-volt batteries night after night.
Oh, wow. People actually.
The first 3 weeks, because they were paying for our hotel every night, it gave us $800 a week. The first 2 weeks, we got our money, no problem. And they were like, well, what are you going to do? Would you like to stay for the 2 year period? We were like, yeah, we actually kind of like it here. The
right.
money's decent. Our hotel's paid for. Like, well, we can't keep paying for your hotel. So you want to look for an apartment. We found this beautiful apartment, 1-bedroom furnished right on the beach in Puerto Rico.
Isla Verde?
Yeah. Isla Verde. Well, the address was Carolina, actually.
Right. Yeah.
Beautiful, gorgeous apartment. The furniture inside, it looked like it should cost $5,000 a month. It was $1,000. Our bedroom window was right on the beach. Beautiful. 4th floor up. We had an elevator. We couldn't get into the building. It was totally secure. So we're like, okay, we found this place. Great. Soon as we rented the apartment, signed the lease, guess what? It went from $800 a week to $750 a week to $7 a week to $6 a week. Eventually, about 5 months down the road, we might be lucky to get $150 a week.
Oh.
Two people cannot live on $150 a week
right.
in Puerto Rico or anywhere else.
Who was paying you off, Javika?
No, he was the one that wasn't paying us.
Okay.
He would pay us $0. Okay, we'd go to the office each Monday. And we'd go in to get paid because Monday was payday. And you'd sit there from 8 in the morning till 5 at night. And Joe Vica would come out. Sorry, guys, maybe next week. And he would leave. And all the Puerto Rican guys would be like, okay. Like here's, Pablo and all these other Puerto Rican guys that didn't speak English. They're like, okay, we'll be back next week.
Huh. And
I was like, motherfucker. Because if you know me, I don't kind of shy away from anybody.
Right.
So I would walk up to Carlos and say, motherfucker, what the hell's going on?
Right.
You bring us down here. You want us to stay for 2 years. We just rented an apartment for $1,000 a month and we're not getting paid this week or next week or last week or I said, this is ridiculous. So Carlos would go in his pocket and like slip me $150.
Right. I
guess because he was trying to be one of the boys and not office where Joe Vico was the total douchebag.
Right.
Horrible. We used so much money from home, from savings, just to live. Finally, we were coming up in the 6th month, and I said, "Hon, we're going home. This is ridiculous. So I'm not spending any more money from home to live in this godforsaken fucking island.
Right.
It's dirty. It's poverty-stricken. It's crime-ridden. It's drug-laden." For example, we had to take a bus. We didn't have a car down there. We had to take a bus from our apartment into Santurce to go to the office to get paid every Monday. You get off the bus, you walk 8 blocks up to go to the to get the office at this nice industrial, business street. And it's a nice, pretty tree-lined street. All these trees along the street. Well, there's dirty syringes stuck in all the trees as you're walking by. Right across the street from the dirty syringes and the trees is Catholic grade school, and all the kids running around.
Right.
It is disgusting.
Right.
One time we were walking home from the office. We figured, let's not take the bus. Let's walk along the beach because it was only like a couple miles. It was no big deal. It was a beautiful day. So we're walking past. Here's the projects, the worst projects on the island on our right.
Between Carolina and the office.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's the worst projects with the barbed wire on the gates and all these, monkeys looking out like, ooh, look, there's white people. Sorry, I was a little racist. And on our left is this really disgusting little grocery store. So we're walking by, and here comes this huge black woman. Of course, she's gigantic, wearing skin-tight leopard pants, walking with these grocery bags. She's walking towards us as we're walking this way. Finally, right where we're about here, she sits down on the curb facing us, reaches into this 2-foot-high tall grass behind us, pulls out a tourniquet, and needles starts shooting up. Right there.
Right.
Right in the middle of the street. I was like, we're going home. We're getting out of here. I started running down the street. I'm like, this is crazy. And the Puerto Rican people down there, people that are here, okay, I'm really not a racist person. Puerto Rican people that are here are very nice and cordial. Down there, those motherfuckers will stab you if you look at them the wrong way. They will. So if I didn't even want to look at this woman because I'd get, a needle in the leg.
Right.
Who knows what the hell she had. So basically 6-month mark came. We went to the office and said, thanks for the opportunity, guys. It's been great. We're going home.
I was called Gringo 500 times walking down that street.
Oh my God. And then
Gringo.
once we told them we want to go home, then they couldn't buy us a plane ticket.
Yeah, they hold you down there.
Right.
They said there's no money to buy a ticket. No money to buy a ticket. We're like, then book us. Well, no, because we already reached out at Storylines. And we're like, all right, hold on a minute. We're like, we don't give a fuck how you want to get us a ticket. You get us a fucking ticket.
Right.
Eventually, Carlos had to use his daughter Stacy's credit card. Stacy's 22 years old. Had to use her credit card to buy us a plane ticket home. That's how broke they are.
Wow.
They have nothing.
Now,
Nothing.
I heard Carlos has a big gambling problem too.
Yeah, that's how he lost all his money and his house and everything like that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Wow.
There was one time, because I have a bit of a temper, and if somebody fucks me over, just watch out. There was a couple weeks in a row. I would have gotten arrested down there if they knew this. But I don't care now. A couple weeks in a row, nobody was getting paid.
Right.
So I stole the ring truck. Well, we had 2 trucks. We had a ring truck and a truck with all TV equipment.
Right.
I saw the keys sitting there, and once I got in the baseball park when nobody was looking, it was in the middle of the baseball park and everybody was gone. I drove it away. I stole it, parked it around the corner, and went home with the keys, threw the keys in the ocean.
Nice. Nice.
And here's a couple of the Americans like, what did you just do? I'm like, those fuckers, they fuck with me and fuck with them back.
Right.
So we went for a month with no TV tapings because here's the truck parked at this one baseball field when it had to go all over the island. They had no other keys, and I threw the keys in the ocean. Fuck with me, I'll get back.
That's awesome. That's a good story.
It was actually funny. And then they would always have beer at the concession stand. They had the worst concessions. They would sell empanadillas, which are these little pastry things with either really disgusting meat or really disgusting cheese in them.
Right.
And then beer. And then soda. These tiny little cans of beer. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
I love them.
So a couple times though, they'd load up the ring and then they'd be putting the big barrels of the beer back in the, in the back of the ring truck because they take it from place to place. It's not the concession at the arenas, it's their own concession. So a couple times as they're putting the beer barrels back up there, and I know nobody got paid, climbed up into the truck and started just chucking beers at all the workers, like 40 beers at a time. And they were like, no, don't take the beer. I'm like, fuck you.
Right.
Fuck us over, I'll fuck you back.
Did Victor ever want to bring you in since?
Who, Quinones?
Yeah, because he told me he would see you guys all because he lived right there. He would talk to you guys.
Well, what happened? Well, because the funny thing was, Victor knew that the pay was so bad. He took me, Chris, this guy, what the hell was his name? Marcus Falk, and believe it or not, Eddie Colon, Carlos's own son, out to dinner 3 nights a week.
Wow.
Because Eddie wasn't getting any money either.
Right.
So the 4 of us would go out to eat with the boss of the other company. So here's
Victor
Eddie
says he talks to the kids, even though there's this big war going on.
So here's, Eddie Colon, the son of the owner, going out to dinner with the son of the opposition. With the owner of the opposition.
Right.
But you starved otherwise.
Right.
Like I said, I'd rather have Victor Quinones buy me dinner than me keep macking out money out of my savings account.
Oh, of course.
It was ridiculous.
Did you know Carlito at all down there?
Carly, yeah, we worked a program with him.
How was that?
He was a good worker. Eddie's a better worker. Ed, I don't know if you've ever seen him work.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Eddie's a much better worker. He's got more fire, more passion as a baby face than Carly did.
Right.
They're both sweethearts, really nice kids. Like I feel bad for them that they had to grow up with that and deal with that all their lives. Really nice guy. I haven't seen Carly since he left. Chris saw him when he went to a couple of Raws, but he, of course he already had the hair.
Right.
And down in Puerto Rico, he was like the best looking guy too. I was like, oh, he's a hottie. And then I see him with the hair. I'm like, what's happening? But as far as the two boys go, Eddie's a much better worker. Like one day, if he doesn't get a job, it'll be a sin.
I heard Carly was the one his father made get into business. And
Yeah,
he would always go to Florida and live in Miami and want to go clubbing. And Eddie was the one who was the true student in the game.
Yep. Carly doesn't care about the business one bit. He
Yeah.
never did. He used to tell us that he goes, I really don't even like this stuff. I'm just doing it because my dad makes me do it.
Right.
And Eddie's the one with the passion for it.
Right.
So basically, Eddie gets the raw deal. He's got the passion for it. Carly doesn't give a shit. And he gets a push.
Right. Well, he goes back down to Puerto Rico. He'll be the biggest babyface ever.
Well, I think he went back down there a few times already, but I don't know what happened. I really don't even follow what they do.
Feud against each other now.
Oh, they do?
Eddie versus Carly.
As far as like the drug scene in Puerto Rico, how crazy was that? I mean, because it's pretty much you can get anything down there.
Well, see, the thing is, you can get anything down there, but Puerto Rico is really what started cleaning us up because you couldn't afford it.
Right.
Honest to God, you could not afford it. So you can go walk into any pharmacy and buy somas just over the counter for 35 cents a piece. But okay, you want to say, do I want 5 somas or do I want a Burger King hamburger? It's one or the other.
Right.
Because there's no money. So yeah, it's easy to get, but you can't get it because you can't afford it.
Right.
And like I said, I'm not spending my money from home to live down there. So we chose Burger King over the pills. Basically, honest to God.
TitleMatchNetwork.com